Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our world-famous Jungle Cruise celebration, celebrating the movie, the Behind the Attraction episode, and of course, the changes coming to the Disneyland and Walt Disney World attraction. My name is Tony. I'm here to help host and guide us through this wacky, weird celebration that we're doing today. With me on this side, the back side of me, no, that way, the right side of me, would be Alex. I don't work well with beers. How you doing, Alex?
I'm good. How about you?
I am I'm seeing the backside of water in my own home because my AC was broken, but we've got it taken care of. So I'm a little wacky right now. And if you hear weird noises behind me, that's why. But welcome. Thanks for joining us. We are live. Feel free to comment, ask questions, talk about all that fun. Alex, you've seen the movie already.
Yes, I have.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. We've talked about Behind the Attraction. We're going to talk about Behind the Attraction, the new series on Disney Plus, which was it the first episode? Is the Jungle Cruise?
I have only seen it in screeners, and when they did that, Jungle Cruise was not going to be the first episode back when they were going to launch all 10. So I'm logging into Disney Plus right now to verify.
I'm fairly confident
which episode they put as number. Yes, number one is Jungle Cruise in their viewing order. Which has changed.
Yes. And it was you've seen all of them, right?
No, I've seen Jungle Cruise and Star Tours. Star Tours was originally number one, so I watched that. And then I watched Jungle Cruise as like the two I sampled for review purposes. But at one point in time, I had access to all 10. They pulled the other 5 that they're delaying. But if I had time, I could have binged the entire series and been omnipotent into the future of the rest of the season.
I will say Jungle Cruise and Space Mountain are my favorites just because they talk about Jungle Cruise and Space Mountain. The rest all segue into other things. Like Star Tours is 10 minutes of Star Tours, 40 minutes of Galaxy's Edge. So.
It's really Disney Parks Star Wars greatest hits. Yes.
I agree. Doobie wants to know where we are at and if we were going to wear the ear hat that The Rock created. Dwayne Johnson, of course, did a skipper hat with ears. I guess they're like leather ears or something.
I hear they smell.
But that is sold out immediately. So at least online. I haven't checked the parks yet. So if anybody's there who might be joining us later for a ride through of the attraction, he should probably check and see if they're available. What did you think of the Jungle Cruise Behind the Attraction?
I loved it. I mean, I was a huge fan of the Toys That Made Us. And one of the fun things that came out of this for me was getting to interview Brian Volkweiss twice about the show. You can find that on the Laughing Place YouTube channel. I edited the 2 interviews together into about 14 minutes worth of conversation. But he did the Toys That Made Us and the movies that made us on Netflix. So if you'd seen those and feel like the style of Behind the Attraction is similar, that's the reason why. But I think Jungle Cruise is a perfect episode 1 because it really starts with the history of Disneyland to kind of bring you into the history of that opening day attraction, which I believe it's the only opening day attraction covered in the series. I think everything else came later. So I think that makes it a good place to start. I thought they had a lot of fun with it too. The whole like Harper Goff walking the path with his stick, and then the picture of him and the arrow saying like not actual stick. I enjoyed the humor of it. I thought they found humor in it where other documentarians wouldn't have. Hi, Caitlin. So I was thrilled with it. And also, I felt like that tone worked really well for Jungle Cruise. I haven't seen the Haunted Mansion episode, so maybe it doesn't lend itself so well to something a little more macabre or serious. But I thought it did fine.
It does. I'll tell you that. Yeah, it does.
Cool. And one of the things that I guess my only regret with it is probably the timeline of when it came out, because like almost immediately it was out of date because Disney World and Disneyland just made all these changes to the attraction that they couldn't cover in it because that happened just weeks before, and these things take months, years to make.
Yeah. David also wants to add he wants the Jungle Cruise ears as well. Let us know what happens if you find any, David. Yeah, I've heard and they're so simple too. It's surprising how fast they sold out because it's literally just his hat from the movie.
Do they cap the edition size on those? These designer ears?
I think it varies by designer, but yes, yeah. So we're going to bring on somebody else now who's also seen the behind the attraction. I will say this as I bring him on. Welcome, Lee.
Hello,
Lee, another part of the Laughing Place team. You watched behind the attraction Jungle Cruise as well. What did you think?
I sure did. I sure watched all of them that are available right now, streaming on Disney Plus. I liked it, and I was kind of confused. Well, I shouldn't say I was kind of confused. I expected people to not like it from the reviews after watching the first one, just because of the sense of humor that they bring to it. But I think to a casual audience that isn't full of Disney fans that already know all this, it makes it a lot more enjoyable, makes it a lot more fun, and you do learn something from it.
Yes. I have my one complaint about the Jungle Cruise episode of the attraction or behind the attraction, though, is that it shows footage from People and Places Disneyland USA dating back to 1956, but they leave out the best part where there's a skipper who's trying to step onto the boat in the background and he almost falls in the water. I would have pulled that up ready to display, but I know we would get dinged for it, so I'm not using it.
What I've noticed a lot in this series is that it uses a lot of footage that you could just find on YouTube.
Yep. I've talked about my opinion of the show is that it's a glorified YouTube series with access to the Walt Disney Archives. So.
Yeah, but I do think they did a really good job of editing, and like what Alex was saying earlier, how they did all those jokes with Harper Goff and whatnot. One thing I did find that was weird was I felt like there was a point that was added really late into the Jungle Cruise one where they talked about, who was it? I don't know. They were talking about all the different jokes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes,
it seemed like it was added very late because it had nothing to do with anything they were talking about.
Are you talking about when they mentioned that some of them are now dated and culturally insensitive? Yes. Yeah. The ADR coming in on that one.
Which I thought was also like kind of, I don't know, it was kind of rude the way they put it in there too.
I could see that. David says he likes behind the attraction information, but he's with Jeremiah per the talks, part of the parks talk last night's discussion that it's a Snapchat like narration and it's
It's not for everyone, but yeah. I think the way they did it is to get the most for an audience.
And I was just going to go to Jeremiah, and that was going to be a great segue because he is at Magic Kingdom right now, but he seems to have left us all of a sudden. So yeah, thanks Jeremiah for leaving. Hopefully he'll join us again soon.
Yeah, who knows what happened? Could have been that one of those magic trees behind Magic Kingdom stopped working, so he no longer has cellular service.
Are those behind Magic Kingdom too? I thought they were only at Animal Kingdom.
I think there's a shorter one behind Frontierland, if I'm not mistaken. Like if you take that road past Grand Floridian that curves around, I'm pretty sure there's one tree taller than the others. That's not a tree.
Okay.
It's like, where's Waldo?
Yeah, and it's not in the fire danger zone, because that would be bad.
The fallout zone, yeah.
The fallout zone. But yeah. So, oh, sorry. I was just gonna say. No, I didn't even realize. I've been so busy. I didn't realize that people weren't really loving behind the attraction. I guess I just came into it with a pre-built-in fondness for this narration style from the toys that made us and the movies that made us. And I, as a well-read Disney fan, I'm sure you both felt this way sometimes too. I felt like I'm not necessarily the end audience for this. Mm-hmm. They're probably looking more at people who like maybe casually go to the parks or are planning a vacation or have been there a couple times, but not us who, live there. Which way am I going? Live there, or or have worked there, or been more times than we can count. Because I don't think from Jungle Cruise episode specifically that there was anything that I didn't already know that I hadn't consumed in multiple Disney Parks history books and websites and interviews and things like that.
Yeah, no, I think I even said that in the recap we posted on the day they debuted on July 21st. This is not for like the well-versed Disney fan because everything in it you've already seen someplace else. Mm-hmm. Whether it be like the Walt Disney Treasures DVDs, whether it be D23 presentations, just it's all stuff we've heard. But
I do hope I do hope the Disneyland Hotel episode that's coming in batch 2 is more thrilling than the D23 Expo Disneyland Hotel presentation, which was a regret. I made a bad choice.
Rebecca says they enjoyed it. Wouldn't want all my Disney archival info in this format, but love having a way to access it. And Doobie points out the stuff on YouTube is so popular. I think the style is very smart. Yeah. It's so popular that you'll see 9 different YouTubers tell the same story within the same week. It's kind of funny that way, huh?
They'll all get like 200 million views.
Yes, and it's like it's literally the other guy's video too. But speaking of park stuff on YouTube, he finally joined us. It's Jeremiah, live at Magic Kingdom. Jeremiah.
Yeah, let's see how live I really am.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
A tree is glitching.
We could hear you, but we could see some pixelation.
Yeah, we are also in one of the busiest parks on a very, very busy day, so I cannot guarantee how well this stream is going to go. But we see a flying
it looks like rain.
Carpet.
The magic carpets look all down on the ground to me. None flying.
Okay, good. Then we are fine. We are walking up to Doobie's all-time favorite, the treehouse.
Don't get spit on.
Are they spitting again?
No, I didn't walk that far.
I thought I heard they were.
I think they turned on. I know the tikis have been turned back on, but I don't know about the camels. Jeremiah,
yes.
Can we hear you still?
There is only one camel, and yes, okay. he is expectorating quite well.
There's only one camel. Quote of the day.
Wasn't there? I can't remember how many there were before. Was it 1 or 2?
There were 2 before.
I know it's not 75.
Okay.
Yeah, those old parade floats.
Yeah, we can still hear you. Now I brought Jeremiah and Lee on also because the 3 of you have seen the new film Jungle Cruise coming soon to theaters and Disney Plus Premier Access on July 30th. Let's start, Jeremiah, before we lose you again.
There were 2, but it's been 1.
We're still on the camels. Okay.
Watch what happens live.
Alex, tell us what you thought of Jungle Cruise.
The joys of live streaming.
Jungle Cruise is fun. I guess I had set my expectations too high.
Where are we now?
We're in our living rooms. I think I had set my expectations too high because it was meant to come out July 2020. Disney decided to push it out a year rather than go the Mulan route. As a film, I think Mulan is a more solid film. I feel like that would have probably had longer legs in theaters than Jungle Cruise will. To me, my issue with Jungle Cruise is it feels so familiar from multiple other projects that have been done. It has a lot of parallels to the African Queen on which the ride is based.
Full circle.
It really does. I mean, in the African Queen, it's a headstrong woman and her brother chartering a skipper, Humphrey Bogart, to take them, through a perilous river, and that's basic premise of the film. Emily Blunt's character is basically female Indiana Jones, complete with her own phobia. Indy's with snakes. I won't spoil what hers is, but she has her own version of snakes.
But it's not snakes?
It's not snakes,
okay.
Thankfully, because there is like a snake monster guy. And
everyone's afraid of snakes in it.
Everyone's afraid of snakes, but not her. She's fine. She's got a different phobia that I'm sure there's a scientific classification for. And the other is the Pirates of the Caribbean film franchise, which it leans on so heavily, particularly Curse of the Black Pearl and Dead Man's Chest, that once you realize how much they're borrowing from that, you can just completely predict the ending. My other issues with it was that there's progressive moments, like Emily Blunt's character. It takes place during World War I, just like the African Queen. She's a doctor. She's ahead of her times. Men in the community don't necessarily listen to her. So she comes into the story as this, I am an independent woman. I'm a modern woman born in the wrong time. And then by the end of it, and this I'm only spoiling because they've spoiled it. Disney has let this out of the bag through all the premiere footage. It's a love story, but the love story flips on a dime in the third act. So Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson spend act 1 and 2 hating each other's guts, being polar opposites, and then all of a sudden in act 3, the thing that she is pursuing, the whole reason that she's put her life in danger, doesn't matter anymore. All she wants is him. And it's really odd. It comes out of left field and feels old. It makes the film feel dated. I know it was in the can for over a year, but it feels like this probably should have come out 10 plus years ago.
That's interesting because isn't that like the whole? There's a movie rule for that. And I can't think of what it's called.
Oh,
the
feminine, like, is this a feminist film or not? Code.
Yeah.
No, it starts checking those boxes, and then at the end they're like, oh no, we can erase a bunch of these. But yeah, now Doobie does have a good point. I'm in luck because I never saw. Oh yeah, so good job, Rebecca. You might be surprised and enjoy this much more. Doobie says, well, he is The Rock, which is true.
We all would do the same thing.
If I was like head level with pecs bigger than my body, I'd probably also just melt and be like, yes, whatever you want. I no longer care about anything I thought was important in life.
Yep.
Good
Jeremiah, can you hear us? Jeremiah, can you hear us? Could you hear us, Jeremiah?
I think we're witnessing
I can hear you.
Okay.
So to sum up my portion of this live stream, can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you just fine, or we all can, I think. But what did you think of the movie? He has no words for it.
I'm trying to figure out how long of a delay he's on. Because I swear I was hearing a family like break up when we started that. Like,
heard most of Alex's review and I read it. I agree wholeheartedly with him.
well, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are you trying to find the words for the movie?
Are you safe? Wave your hand in front of the camera if you're in danger and you need assistance, but you can't say so because something terrible has happened to you in the far corners of Adventureland.
Oh, and it's gone. All right, we'll come back to him. Lee, what did you think of the movie? I've heard your opinion of it. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, so my opinion of it, and thanks to D23, I was able to see this movie early for all Gold members, which was very nice. Saw it at the AMC at Disney Springs. But I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I wasn't going in expecting much. I was actually going in expecting it to be a pretty horrible movie. So that probably kept my expectations leveled. But I had a lot of fun with it. I thought The Rock or I guess Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt, I thought whoever plays the brother, I thought they were all great in it.
Jack Whitehall.
Who got cut from Frozen. Anyway,
his one line cut from Frozen.
The bad guy is really silly and wouldn't make any sense in anything else. But I thought in this movie it was like, you know what? I'll just go with it. You have to be in a Fast and Furious mood. You have to realize that nothing in this film actually makes sense to enjoy it. And
that's probably true. Are you a Fast and the Furious family?
Any of those.
Oh, okay.
I've just heard how ridiculous it gets, and I saw the Jungle Cruise and thought the same thing.
Physics doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
This car can just fly.
I thought
aren't they going into space or went into space or something?
Yeah. Fanine, I'm pretty sure, goes to space.
There is a twist that happens in the movie that I think Alex is kind of hinting at. Is kind of, you could expect it if you know what's going on. But I also think that some of the other villains that you meet throughout the movies are actually really cool and really well designed and does really much look like Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's what I was going to say. To me, it was basically, they were like, oh, in Pirates, all of Davy Jones's crew melded with either other sea life or rocks and coral. So we should do that, but with the jungle.
Yeah.
And so I was just watching it, like, they don't explain any of this. None of this makes any sense. I have a dirty story I'll share offline that's not appropriate for here about a theory. I'll send you, Lee. But yeah, I thought that all
I'll
was
leave
weird.
me out of it. Okay.
Well, when you see it, I'll send it to you, Tony.
Okay.
So you let me know. But that also, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the original Tim Burton Batman movies, but you know, after that, they just were like, oh, can we throw more villains at Batman in a movie? And that to me was a problem here. You have this over the top, like Mel Brooksian level Nazi in a submarine that's like unable to be destroyed, and he's like one step removed from putting torpedoes on shark fins and sending them towards the skipper boat, and then you have these like magical conquistadors who are immortal and have, you know, each has the property of a different jungle animal or fauna, flora. So yeah. Oh, is it raining? Tut tut. I called it.
So let's talk about how much this live stream is failing on my side. As we're sitting there and we're getting no reception, lightning starts. So they're evacuating Jungle Cruise, and it's not coming up anytime soon. And then the downpour. I finally found a nice place to hide under the covering so I can join you and talk. And I don't seem to be on a 3-hour delay.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, that our
safe.
glorious 3-hour finale has been ruined by the weather, but that's fine. Jeremiah, tell us what you thought of the movie besides you agree with Alex. And we've lost him again. Okay.
Shelter in place, Jeremiah.
In the meantime, Rebecca asks, is there anything from the film that you wish would find its way into the attraction, like they added Jack Sparrow to Pirates?
Yeah,
Lee has
that is a great question, because there's a lot of stuff I think that they should add after seeing the movie. But I don't think we could spoil it, right? You have to wait.
Well, I would say we could give people an out. If you watched the live stream of the premiere from Disneyland, what Lee's going to talk about, I think, has already been spilled for you. It's a character from the attraction who appears out later in the film. So if you don't want to know that, you could say goodbye now, because I'm assuming, Tony, you're going to wrap this up after this conversation?
Unless some miracle happens, yes. So, okay.
Pending a miracle, you could step away now and be fine and leave free to talk.
So there's actually like a couple things I feel like I would add, but is the character? What are you talking about, Alex? I don't want to spoil. So.
I'm talking about a character who's in the film. I'm just talking about a character who is in the film who's not currently in the attraction for reasons.
Yes. So can I say, like,
does he have a grotto and enchanted tiki bar?
Yeah, yeah. He's the only character with a name that I know of in the Jungle Cruise.
So can we
other
say
than, like, Albert
more
Schweitzer.
about that character, or do you think we should leave it?
I think I think you could just say, you know, that character's there, and I could see that version of the character.
I think we've already alluded to it enough. You could just go on.
Yeah. So I would like to see Trader Sam in the at the ending with the new look. I'll say that.
Yeah, the movie version of Trader Sam.
And then there's also stuff that I would add to, like, the temple scene, but I don't know if I would want to spoil it.
Doobie says we can improv our
that.
own live Jungle Cruise.
Jeremiah, I'm pretty sure, knows the book. Like, he's off book. He's ready for this.
Where's your fake wheel?
Go into the treehouse.
Behind the attraction.
Go into the treehouse and get on the wheel and do this for us.
Treehouse is closed. I was thinking about going up there to try to do this, but
you know why?
Off.
You know why?
Why?
It's metal on the inside.
What's the scientific name for it again?
More.
No, it's a metal frame that they built fake tree around.
There's a
Wasn't it
name
a-
like super. I'm googling this. Hold on.
Yeah, the Disney Dendron or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a specific breed of tree. Only grows in Orlando and Anaheim. And
Is it a
Tokyo?
Hollywood?
Disney
It's not a
Odendron
Hollywood.
Semper Florens Grandis.
Yes, I knew the Disney Dendron part.
So to sum this up, I think the gods have been angered by all of our trying to celebrate and just don't want us to do anything.
Oa.
Or at least me.
Oa.
I tried to
favorite
appease
drink
them
at Trader
today.
Sam's. Jeremiah, go.
I heard Trader Sam go.
Favorite drink at Trader Sam's. Go.
Cherry Coke.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Alex.
All I've ever had at Trader Sam's was red wine. But I would
Like
try a
the UB40
Nautilus.
song?
No, but I would try
Red
a
wine?
Nautilus if I was at the Polynesian one because I would take that container home.
Lee, how about you?
My favorite has been the zombie, so unfortunately they changed the name of it.
To what?
Zombie. It used to be Zombie Head,
Oh,
I think, or something.
I think it was
Oh,
Shrunken
okay.
Zombie Head or
Shrunken
something like
Zombie
that.
Head.
Yeah.
Ah.
I'm
now it's-
about the tiki rum
Mm.
Is it just rum?
on ice, and I think there's like orange and pineapple juice in it too.
Yeah,
Oh,
very
okay.
tropical.
But
Yeah.
it will soon no longer be with capital T's because the term tiki apparently angers some people.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of changes with the Trader Sam that keeps happening. It seems. Can you actually hear me more than 2 seconds?
Yeah.
So I'm going to start talking about the movie for a second.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. It
Awesome. That was a second.
That was
Oh.
just me messing around.
Okay.
Wow.
That was just me
I
messing
have to
around. I'm
walk
sorry,
out this
Jeremiah.
right now.
Did you count one Mississippi in your head, Tony, before you clicked it?
I waited 2 seconds, but yes.
I enjoyed the film. It is a summer movie. It definitely, I think Alex's term of it feeling dated is 100% true. I did not expect it to take the love turn. That was something that I was hoping wouldn't happen. To me, it's just a not as fun version of The Mummy.
I was gonna say I
Because
got the Mummy vibes from it just from the trailers.
Yeah.
So is that what I was feeling?
That's
But
what
do
everyone's
you
saying
think
now on social
so-
media.
That movie has been in development for 10 years. Do we think that's just a carryover like story? Because that would explain the dated.
I don't know about necessarily carryover story, but they did have the writers on the red carpet at the live stream. And one of them, I think, has been with it since the Lindsay Lohan era of the Jungle Cruise movie. At one point, she was attached to star.
Jungle Cruise fully loaded.
Jungle Cruise fully loaded. Yeah, I don't know what stayed and what left, but it is. I didn't really instantly think of Mummy, but I see that now. But to me, it's very Dead Man's Chest, which was about a decade ago. So I can see them being heavily inspired by the billion-dollar success of that film and being like, oh yeah, let's do that with Jungle Cruise. Going back to Rebecca's question of if there's anything from the film I would like to see put into the attraction, I think because I'm so lukewarm on the film itself, I'm not saying it's terrible, don't see it. It's like just okay. It's not good, not great, just okay, not awful. But I feel like when there were rumors of Jennifer Tilly replacing Madame Leota in Haunted Mansion, yeah, like I feel like it's that level of like, I don't know that I want this necessarily in there. There is already an Easter egg from the film in the queue at Disneyland. I don't know about Disney World. That's movie specific. So I feel like it's already
Only there was some way
represented
to
there.
see it today.
If I can give one important piece of advice to anybody who does go see the movie, there's no end credit scene. Don't stay.
Oh,
yeah.
Just
You don't. Yeah, you can just get up and go. If you're watching on Disney Plus after the castle, you're going to see all the other languages that it's been dubbed in for about 5 minutes because it's every language.
So you're saying skip the credits, forget giving gratitude to those who created
There's
it.
not even.
And,
There's not even a song. There's not even a ballad.
It's getting loud where Jeremiah is.
Yeah. I could start hearing it over here as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna sign off, guys.
Good luck.
Thanks for trying to join us.
My trip on the Jungle Cruise, and I'm gonna try to float to my car at some point.
Yeah.
All right. Jeremiah,
Well,
thanks for joining us as best you could. That wasn't me. That was all him.
I was going to suggest you follow cast member instructions for the nearest emergency exit because it looked like it was that level.
It was getting bad. I have my living room lights on right now. It's pretty dark where I am, and I'm down closer to Disney Springs than the Magic Kingdom.
Well,
and anybody who lives in Central Florida
Florida
knows it's 2 blocks away. Lee's probably got sunshine. Go out there tanning if he wants to. Oh no, it's dark for you are too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All y'all in Florida, blow the air west, send it to California. We're about to light up, and I would like to not be on fire. So,
all right. Well, I'm going to bring up this point that Rebecca said. There's so much really great Jungle Cruise merchandise now through Hot Topic or Box Lunch. Rebecca herself, as well as another Becca, will be joining her for Barely Necessities coming up at 4 o'clock Pacific time later tonight on Laughing Place YouTube. Then even later, Doobie and Gideon will be hosting Disney Trivia Live with topics to be determined, as usual. So be sure to tune in for that at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. And then tomorrow we got Marvel Time with Mac and Mac, apparently. So he's doing 2 roles. I guess he's arguing with himself. Maybe it's a variant of himself, a la Loki. I don't know. At 1 o'clock Pacific tomorrow, Wednesday, July 28th. So remember to like, subscribe, ring that bell, be notified of all the fun we have, whether it's weather permitting or not.
We have
Disney
themes
in the
for
90s,
Disney
and how much is that? Oh, thank you. Those are the themes.
Disney in the
Thank you.
90s was the best Disney.
How much is that? It was the Disney decade. How much is that? Do you know that?
Yes, I do. We have no time for Lindsey Buckingham. I'm sorry.
How much is that?
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. Sorry we couldn't give you the live ride through on the Jungle Cruise, but blame Central Florida and the gods we've angered by trying to celebrate Jungle Cruise Behind the Attraction, the Jungle Cruise motion picture coming July 30th. I forgot what month it was, on Disney Plus Premier Access or in theaters where available. So long, everybody. Thanks for joining us.